Hey there folks, Peter here with BlackRock Business, and today in QuickBooks Point of Sale we are going to be talking about creating a report. Now there's a lot of reports for QuickBooks Point of Sale that come right out of the box, but oftentimes you have something specific in mind that you want to find out in QuickBooks Point of Sale, and so you are going to need to create your own report. Before we jump into this, I'm going to have you click on the link down in the description below to get over to our QuickBooks Point of Sale Facebook group where you can sign up. I'll be happy to see you there. Ask questions, whatever you want about QuickBooks Point of Sale. Maybe you have an error or a curiosity or a workflow problem. Go ahead and throw it in the group, and people such as myself and other business owners who have QuickBooks Point of Sale would be happy to answer your questions. If you're on YouTube today, go ahead and hit subscribe down below so you get all the latest, greatest QuickBooks Point of Sale videos coming at you all the time. All right, let's do it. So today in QuickBooks Point of Sale, I want a report that has to do with certain inventory items from a certain vendor, and I'm just kind of curious to narrow down maybe when the last time I ordered them. I don't know. We'll get into it. We'll figure out what we want to know. But the key idea here is there's certain topics for reporting, and you're going to have to go and start with a basic idea of what object you are thinking of. And what I mean by that is, are you thinking of sales? Are you thinking you want to narrow down and look at customers? Are you thinking of the receiving in of product? Is that what you want to investigate? Or maybe just inventory in general? Maybe you want to look up something for inventory. Or maybe you want to do some reporting on some of your employees. Or maybe even vendors. But really you need to kind of figure out what is the main object of your report. And in this case it's going to be inventory or items. So the most basic item report is the item list. That is a list of all of our items, unfettered. It's just all of them. And so if I go to the item list, it's going to come up and give me a report on all my items. And I'm not quite sure if I reset this report lately. So if I go into modify and I hit revert, that means it's going to get rid of any filters, any column changes I've made, and it's going to go back to kind of the default box setting for items. Okay, now we can see that this is sorted by department, and first we have accessories and etc., etc. I'm sure it's alphabetical order by department. So now that I have just my straight up inventory item list, everything in my entire list, whether I have it in stock or not. Now what you're going to want to do is to create the report that you want, the report of your dreams. You're going to go to modify, and in modify we have, I would say that the first two buttons here are the most important. One is adding and removing columns. As we can see here, attribute and size aren't really doing much for me in this report. They're totally empty. So I'm probably going to want to get rid of those. Attribute and size, they're just going to take up extra space on the paper. And along with being able to add and remove columns, of which there are quite a few, you know, maybe I'm really curious about the UPC on some of these items, and I definitely want to know the item number because that's how I reference it on my zebra tag. Now, along with being able to add and remove columns, you are also able to create subtotals for any given column. So maybe I want to group these by vendor and create subtotals for each vendor. Does that sound good? So I'm going to go down and I'm going to find vendor. There's vendor code. We should have vendor here somewhere. Vendor code again. Probably just not seeing it. There we go, vendor name. And so I want to sort these and subtotal them by vendor name. So if I hit save and run, it's going to change up my columns, and we're going to see groupings here by vendor. All right, so here is vendor name. I'm going to move that way over to the left so it makes sense how I'm grouping these. We can see at the top this store has a bunch of miscellaneous items that never got a vendor attached to them, but that's fine. We're just going to ignore those. Now we can see subtitles for these products by the vendor name, and I'm going to try and get down to some that actually have some quantities. As you can see, we have a fairly extensive item list here. All right. And I believe this was a clothing boutique, so I think what they do is they just order new and different clothing all the time. And so we're gonna have a lot of zeros here. All right, here are some vendors that actually have some numbers in them. So you see that I'm having this problem that I'm getting a lot of clouded garbage in my report that I don't want to see. And so that's kind of the point of creating a report, is you want to, weed your way through the jungle and find the information that you're looking for. And so along with that idea is the next button under modify, which is going to be filter data. So to filter the data, I am going to say that, I don't like all these products that are coming up that have zero, and they probably had zero forever, and I just really don't want to see those anymore. So to filter it out, I am going to look for on-hand quantity. Hopefully I probably already passed it. So we're looking for on-hand quantity. All right, in this particular report, it's probably going to be quantity 1. And so I don't want zeros. So what I do want to include is anything between 1 and 9 bazillion, right? So if I hit save and run, this should get rid of all of those zeros, and now we can just really take a look at our products and only ones that have quantities. And now we've filtered out all of the zeros. So here I've created a report, and I have subtotaled it, and I've gotten rid of the zeros, and I'm going to want to look at this from time to time. And so in one of our next videos, we're going to tell you how to memorize this report so you can come back and look at the report exactly how it is at a later date. But otherwise, this was creating a report in QuickBooks Point of Sale. You can do the same and similar type actions for items, employees, customers, receipts, and your sales, and you can really just narrow down into that information that you are looking for specifically using columns and filters. My name's Peter with BlackRock Business. If this was helpful for you, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Otherwise, leave a comment and I'd be happy to answer you. You have yourself an excellent day now. Bye-bye.